flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon gates self-slaughter.
Oh God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world.
Fie on't, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely that it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr.
So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly.
How on earth must I remember why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on?
And yet within a month, let me not think of frailty, thy name is woman.
A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears.
She, even she.
Oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother.
But no more like my father than I to Hercules.
In a month.
Ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left a flushing in her galled eye. She's married.
Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets.
It is not, nor it cannot come to good. I have of late, though wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory.
This most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours.
What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals.
And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wanned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him? Or he to Hecuba that he should weep for her?
What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears.
And I, a dull, a muddy-mettled rascal, can say nothing. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose? Who does me this, huh?
Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pitching livid. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance!
Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words, and fall a cursing like a very drab, a scullion.
Fire upon foe about my brain! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions.
I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he do blench, I know my course. The play is the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my life.
Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently.
For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness.
Well, be not too tame, neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the words, the word to the action, with this special observance that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is to hold, as it were, the mirror up to nature.
To show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his fall and pressure. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Well, it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them.
To die, to sleep, no more. And by asleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished.
To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
Who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin?
Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life? But the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of.
Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought.
And enterprises of great pith and moment with disregard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow.
If it be now, 'tis not to come.
If it be not to come, it will be now.
If it be not now, yet it will come.
The readiness is all.
Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is to leave betimes?
Let be.